I spent 3 whole days cooking that Thanksgiving meal. Turkey with my special herb butter. Mashed potatoes from scratch. Pumpkin pie with real whipped cream. Everything perfect. My son David and his wife Jessica arrived late, as usual. Jessica didn't even say hello. She just walked past me like I was invisible and sat down at my dining table. "Mom, this looks amazing," David said, kissing my cheek. But Jessica. She was already on her phone, texting and ignoring everyone. We all sat down. My sister Patricia was there. My neighbor Mr. Henderson. My book club friend Ruth. Good people who actually appreciated my cooking. Everything was going fine until Jessica put down her phone and looked at me with this nasty smile. "You know what's funny?" she said loud enough for everyone to hear. "Poor Margaret here has been alone for 10 years. Can't even keep a man interested." The whole table went silent. My husband had passed away from cancer 10 years ago. He was the love of my life. And this woman was using his memory to humiliate me at my table. David touched her arm. "Jess, that's not." "What?" She laughed, cutting him off. "I'm just being honest. She's useless at relationships. Probably why David turned out so needy." Patricia dropped her fork. Ruth gasped. Mr. Henderson looked furious. But me. I just smiled. I stood up, picked up the dirty plates calmly, and walked to the kitchen. My hands weren't even shaking. Because right then, I knew exactly what I was going to do. Welcome to Iron Revenge. I'm Margaret, and I'm 63 years old. This story isn't about crying or feeling sorry for myself. This is about how one insult led to the biggest surprise of Jessica's life. If you want to see what happens when you push a quiet woman too far, smash that subscribe button and keep watching. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Let me tell you about Jessica. She married my son David 4 years ago. At the wedding she seemed sweet. A little spoiled maybe, but harmless. I was wrong. Within 6 months, she had David wrapped around her finger. She quit her job because work stressed her out. She spent his money on designer purses and expensive brunches. And she treated me like I was the maid. Every Sunday they'd come over for dinner. I'd cook for hours. Jessica would show up, eat my food, complain it was too salty or too bland, then leave without even saying thank you. David would apologize. "She's just going through a tough time, Mom. Be patient." Patient. I'd been patient for 4 years. But that Thanksgiving comment, that crossed a line. After everyone left that night, I sat in my kitchen with a cup of tea. I wasn't sad. I was angry. The good kind of angry that makes you think clearly. I picked up my phone and scrolled through my contacts until I found a name I hadn't called in 2 years. Thomas Bradley. Estate attorney. He'd helped me update my will after my husband died. "Mr. Bradley. This is Margaret Chen. I need to schedule an appointment. It's urgent." The next morning, I sat in Mr. Bradley's fancy office downtown. He had gray hair and kind eyes. "Margaret, what can I do for you?" "I want to change my will," I said firmly. "Completely." He pulled out a notepad. "All right. Walk me through it." "Currently, everything goes to my son David when I die. The house, my savings, my retirement accounts. Everything. I want to change that." Mr. Bradley nodded. "May I ask why?" I told him about Jessica. About the years of disrespect. About the Thanksgiving comment that broke the camel's back. "But here's the thing," I continued. "I don't want to punish David. He's weak, but he's still my son. I want to punish her." Mr. Bradley leaned back in his chair, interested. "What did you have in mind?" "I want to put everything in a trust. David can't touch the money directly. He gets a monthly allowance, enough to live comfortably. But Jessica can't access any of it. Not for shopping. Not for vacations. Nothing." "That's clever," Mr. Bradley said, actually smiling. "What about the house?" "The house goes to my sister Patricia. David can live there rent-free for as long as he needs, but he can't sell it. And Jessica has no claim to it whatsoever." Mr. Bradley started writing fast. This is ironclad revenge, Margaret. I love it. How soon can we make this official? I can have the documents ready by tomorrow. You'll need 2 witnesses for the signing. Perfect. And Mr. Bradley. I want David and Jessica to know about this now. Not after I'm dead. I want them to see exactly what her big mouth cost her. He actually laughed. You want me to send them a courtesy letter informing them of the changes? Exactly. Consider it done. I left that office feeling 10 feet tall. 2 days later, my phone exploded. David called first. Mom, what is this letter? You changed your will. Yes, sweetie. I did. But why? We're family. David, your wife called me useless in front of my friends. She mocked your father's death. And you said nothing. Not one word in my defense. Silence. I'm not cutting you off, I continued. You'll still get money every month from the trust. But Jessica, she gets 0. Not a single penny. Mom, that's not fair. You're right. It's not fair that I've cooked for her for 4 years and she's never once said thank you. It's not fair that she insults me in my own home. But here we are. She's going to freak out. Then maybe she should have been nicer. Hung up. 10 minutes later, Jessica called. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail screaming, calling me a bitter old hag, saying I was trying to ruin her marriage. I deleted it without listening to the whole thing. Then I did something wonderful. I blocked both their numbers. For the next week, it was peaceful. No phone calls. No surprise visits. Just me, my house, and my favorite TV shows. I planted tulip bulbs in the garden. I finished reading a whole novel. I baked cookies and gave them to Mr. Henderson, who told me I was his favorite neighbor. Then, on day 8, there was a knock on my door. It was David. Alone. He looked terrible. Unshaved. Tired. His shirt was wrinkled. Mom, can we talk? Please. I let him in. Made him coffee. We sat at the kitchen table. Jessica left me, he said quietly. I wasn't surprised. Where'd she go? Her mother's house. She said if I don't convince you to change the will back, she wants a divorce. I see. Mom, I love her. Please, just change it back. I'll make sure she apologizes. I'll make sure she's nicer. I put down my coffee cup and looked my son straight in the eyes. David, let me ask you something. Do you remember your father's funeral? He blinked confused. Of course. Do you remember how Jessica complained the entire time? She said the church was too hot. The service was too long. She checked her phone during the eulogy. His face went red. And do you remember what you said when I told you it hurt me? I said she was just uncomfortable with death. You made excuses for her. Just like you're doing now. Tears filled his eyes. What am I supposed to do, Mom? You're supposed to be a man, David. A man who stands up for his mother when someone disrespects her. A man who doesn't let his wife walk all over the people who love him. But I love her. Does she love you? Or does she love the idea of your inheritance? He couldn't answer that. The will stays changed, I said firmly. If Jessica wants to leave you over money, then she never loved you in the first place. And honestly, sweetheart, you deserve better. David cried. Big, ugly, shoulder-shaking sobs. I held his hand and let him cry. Because sometimes that's what sons need. To fall apart so they can build themselves back stronger. 3 weeks later, David filed for divorce. Jessica tried to fight it. She wanted half of everything. But here's the funny part. David didn't actually own anything. He rented his apartment. His car was leased. The only asset he had was his future inheritance from me. And thanks to Mr. Bradley's ironclad trust, Jessica couldn't touch it. Her lawyer told her to settle. She got nothing except her clothes and her stupid designer purses. David moved into my guest room while he got back on his feet. And you know what? It was nice having him around. We cooked dinner together. We watched old movies. We talked about his dad and laughed at the good memories. "I'm sorry, Mom," he said one night over spaghetti, "for not defending you. For being weak." "You're not weak anymore," I said. "You're learning. That's different." 6 months later, David got his own apartment. A small place, but clean and all his. He started dating again. This time, he brought his new girlfriend Emily over for Sunday dinner. Emily brought flowers. She complimented my cooking. She helped with the dishes without being asked. After they left, I called Patricia. "I think David finally learned his lesson," I told her. "About time," she laughed. "You think Jessica ever figured out what she lost?" "I don't know. I don't care. She's not my problem anymore." Last month, I ran into Jessica at the grocery store. She looked older, tired. No designer purse. Just a regular tote bag. She saw me and froze. I could have walked past her. Could have ignored her like she used to ignore me. But instead I stopped. "Hello, Jessica." "Margaret." Her voice was cold. "How are you? Does it matter to you?" "Not particularly. But I'm polite." Her face turned red. "You ruined my life." "No, sweetie. You ruined your life when you forgot that kindness matters more than money." I walked away, my cart full of groceries I could afford because I'd worked hard and saved smart my whole life. Behind me, I heard her say something nasty. I didn't catch the words. I didn't need to. Because here's what I learned. Some people will never understand that respect isn't something you can buy. Something you earn. And Jessica. She never earned mine. So if you're watching this and someone in your life thinks they can insult you and get away with it, remember this. You don't have to scream. You don't have to make a scene. Sometimes the best revenge is calm, calculated, and legal. Change the locks. Change the will. Change the rules. And watch them realize too late that they should have been nicer. Thanks for watching Iron Revenge. If this story made you want to stand up for yourself, hit that subscribe button hard. Comment below and tell me, would you have changed the will or given Jessica another chance? And remember, respect is earned, not demanded. Catch you in the next one. Stay strong.